Happy Wednesday. Happy Glitter Pit Day. Happy Dawn Day. We're here live in the Glitter Pit. Let me turn on my comments really quick. And we're going to do a glitter spinner. There we go. All right. So how's everybody doing? I've seen a lot of you guys in the early bird chat. I love that. Everybody looks like they're having beautiful fall weather. We are too, but it looks like it's going to storm today. So today we're going to just chit chat, hang out. We're going to make my thank you notes. And I got a couple other cards I'm going to show you and kind of chit chat about that. Using that pick of the patch bundle. And that one is in the mini catalog and it's so cute. So let's go ahead and do an early bird glitter spinner. I have these brand new, what are these called here? Adhesive backed glitter sequins. Ooh, I used them on one of my cards too. So let me go ahead and move my stuff out of the way. And we'll flip this over. Just give me 1 second. One moment, please. I also got a question just before we went live. So I'll answer that. Hopefully Nancy's on here. And I will answer your question live, okay? Let me get this over here. We will flip that. Let me put this in picture. How's that? Is that going to go over there? I don't know. There we go. All right. So this is the early bird glitter spinner where you get entered with your comment when you're leaving comments right now, right? So let's go ahead and draw somebody. And also you must live in the United States to get the prizes. I will, if I already have your address, I'll just automatically send it out. But if you are new here to the Glitter Pit, all you have to do is just email me here. And this is my email address, dawn@theglitterpit.com. This is my contact information. If you want to email me here, email me your physical street address and I will get that sent out to you, all right? So, and then once I have you in there, you're good to go. So if you ever win in the future or whatever, I'll have your email address or your mailing address. So you're in there. So you don't have to contact me again unless you move or something. Okay, let's do it. All right, we're spinning. All right here. Who is that? Sherry! Woo woo! Sherry! All right, Sherry, you won. You see your name up on the screen there. I want to say I have your address, but I'm not 100% sure. So if you think you've won before, then that's great. Then I will have to look you up on my database and I'll see if I got you. But let me put your name on this. Sherry Dugan it is. Dugan. And these are the glitter sequins. These are so pretty. All right. Okay, now I know for sure, I keep saying that I'm thinking I'm not going to be live with you guys each week, but I know for sure I will not be live next week because Richard and I will be over at the hotel getting everything ready for my retreat. I'm so excited. Oh, all right. Congratulations, Sherry. You won these glittered sequins. Yay! Yay, Sherry. All right, so hopefully I have your address. If not, you can email me here, all right? Email me. Don't forget to do that right after today's live if you haven't won before, all right? Yay. All right. So like I was saying, I'm not going to be here live next week. We got all this stuff. My husband is loading up his big trailer to take everything over. And let me tell you, I have so much stuff. I'm going to feel like I'm moving out down here with all this stuff out here. It's all going to be going. I'm going to feel like it's so empty. I got cases over there. I got boxes. I got all the card kits ready to go. And I got my display boards. I got to find my other display board. I got 2 Stampin' Up! Display boards and I found one. I got to find the other one because my thought is not everybody's taking part of all the swaps we're offering at the event. So I'm going to put my swaps on the boards. So everybody that's there, and if they didn't take part of the swapping, then they can take pictures of the swaps. And then I have a whole board of other stuff that I've made or got. All right. So maybe some of your cards that you guys have sent me is over there. All right. So everybody's doing good. Hi, Sherry. All right. So let me show you here. Let's see. Where do we want to start? Let me start with this question that I got from Nancy because I feel like it's so good. So this comment or question from Nancy just came in at 2:48. So I'm going to break it down to the question. She said she has a question about the items that are out of stock. She said, do I need to wait until I see it back in the warehouse and available? Or does it get mailed to me automatically if I pre-order it? So both of those questions, the answer is yes. So if you have ordered something that went on back order, which nowadays, when anything goes on back order, that means it's unavailable to order. So you can't even order it for you to be able to ship it to you. But if something that you have ordered and then it does go on back order, but I don't think that would happen. Typically, that does not happen nowadays. Because before, Stampin' Up! Had switched that around where we could get an item and then we would just be on a wait list. And then when it came out, then they would mail it to us first that had already ordered it. And then, but now when items go on back order, they say they're unavailable. So you can't even purchase it for Stampin' Up! To mail it to you. So if something's unavailable, you have to wait until it's back in the warehouse. Okay. And then also the items that are unavailable, usually if there's something that's going to be close to being unavailable, it will say low inventory. So that means it's like they're getting really low in the inventory. So that might mean it's going to go unavailable. Because I remember the liquid glue and there was something else that I remember. Oh, the sponge daubers. They went on low inventory for the longest time, and the Stampin' Seal. But now a couple of them are now unavailable. I think the sponge daubers are unavailable now. So hopefully that answered your question, Nancy. So you do have to wait until they come back into the warehouse to actually order the items. So for the paper, the All About Autumn, the glow-in-the-dark paper, all those items are unavailable. So you have to wait for them to come back in stock. I will say that a lot of the stuff has been coming in sooner than the inventory list has been posted. So just keep checking the online store because they'll pop up. And then as soon as I can even let you guys know, it's on back order again. So sometimes it's just like a handful of items come in and then Stampin' Up! Posts them and then they go just as fast. All right, so I want to share with you guys a couple of projects that that I've made using this cute bundle. Let me show you the bundle first. So this is the Pick a Patch. And it's a really cute autumn Halloween stamp set. It also comes with the punch, which looks like this. So you can get this in a bundle, and it is available. I checked. Well, as of this afternoon, it was still available. Thank you, Jesus. But what's cute is it's got all these cute little, it's got the stem and the little, what do you call that? The little weedy thing. And a little jack-o'-lantern face. And all these cute little greetings. It says, a harvest of blessings. You're the pick of the patch. Happy Halloween, cutie pie, and thanks so much. So, of course, I'm going to use the thanks so much on my thank you notes, which we're going to make all 4 thank you notes for my October thank you notes today with you guys. But I want to show you some other ideas on what I'm using this bundle for. So these are a couple of the cards that I made. I'm going to show you how to do this masking with our masking paper. And then I thought this was a cute little card here. Isn't that cute? With the pumpkins, I used the Cajun Craze and the pumpkin pie. Oh, and then I wanted to show you here these little glittery goodness things right here. These are what I just gave away to you guys. The glittered sequins. I colored the white ones with the Cajun Craze Stampin' Blends. So let me show you. Just color the white. Just brush it on there and it colors it. Isn't that pretty? So you can make the white sequins any color you want. Oh, you probably can't see that. There you go. So cute. So that's what I put on this card here. I put 3 of them right there. So cute. And then this one is when I'm going to show you guys how I did this masking using the masking paper from Stampin' Up. Very, very cute. But I will say it's a little challenge to use the masking paper instead of the Post-it note. So either way you guys want to do it is great. But I'm going to use the masking paper for once in my life. Because I've had many of you ask about what it is and how to use it. So this is the Stampin' Up masking paper, and you get 12 sheets of this paper. And what it is, it's like a Post-it note. You know, the Post-it notes that look like this, right? You got your sticky part on the back side, but this whole sheet is like a Post-it note, so it's sticky all over. So what I did is I'm going to go ahead and punch out my pumpkins, because that's what I'm going to use to mask, right? And then I'm going to take my, let me see if I can just grab a piece of basic white here. Hold on a second. All right. So I'm just going to kind of show you what I did here with this mask. So then this is going to be the hardest part. So what I found is when you drag your nail across the Post-it note paper, or the, what is this called? The masking paper. I'm dragging my fingernail across it to kind of break up the backing of the paper. And it's kind of hard for me to grab it. I do have two that are ready to go, but I'm going to try to do this here live with you guys. And I would say, like, peel off the backing of the paper before you punch it, but that might be a disaster. Hold on, let me grab take your pick tool. See if that helps any when I grab the edge. So what I'm doing is I'm trying to peel off the backing. I can see right where it's coming apart, but for me to grab it, it's a different story. You might have to just skip forward. There we go. I think I got it. Nope. Psyched me out. Okay, hold on. Just give me a couple more seconds here. Of course, I can do it without being on camera. Okay, I think I got it. Yep. All right, so one side is sticky, which is this side over here, and then this is the backing. Okay, so what I'm going to do is that's just like a Post-it note, so it won't be permanently down, but the same thing with the little pumpkin. But I've already got a few of them already cut out, and I'm just sticking them to my dimensional backings right here. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to use our stamps. Let me grab all my ink pads here and show you what I'm going to do. I'm going to use the pumpkin pie first, and we're going to stamp the large pumpkin first. This is a photopolymer stamp set too, which is nice. So you can see right where to stamp. Okay, so I'm going to stamp my large pumpkin first. There's actually a few different style of pumpkins in this stamp set. You got a small, medium, large. Well, actually, like small, medium, maybe large and extra large. And then what are these? Like a gourds, maybe? Different shaped of the gourds. Okay, so I stamped the large pumpkin here. I'm going to take my masking paper. Remember, we're going to put that right over top of my pumpkin that I just stamped. And then we're going to take our small pumpkin, and I'm going to stamp this one with Cajun Craze. Okay, so I'm going to tilt this a little bit. Can you guys see what I'm doing here? So I'm going to tilt this a little bit. Okay, so I'm going to stamp over that, and then I'm going to remove that mask. And then you can see how the pumpkins are building on top of each other. Then let me put a little mask on the little pumpkin here. And then I'm going to stamp the pumpkin with the Lost Lagoon. Here, let me get my chamois. My little chamois. Clean my block. Clean both of them, the large and the small. I think I used the large one next. Okay, so the large one, the large pumpkin is going to go next in the Lost Lagoon. Stamp that one. Clean that off. And then the last one I'm going to use is the Early Espresso. Oh, we got to put a mask on that one too. Let me remove that one on the small one. See, then you can put these masks in your stamp set, and then you'll have them whenever you use it again for this kind of a technique. I'm going to stamp this one going this way in Early Espresso. Isn't that cute? Look at it. So it's just building up the pumpkins, stacking them up on top of each other. Okay. Isn't that cute? Okay, and then here's a little tip for you guys on the little stem. This stem in this stamp set is ginormous. I'm not kidding. So what I found is that if you just take the side of your ink pad and just tap maybe half of the stem. Let me take my leaf off of here. I don't want to lose that. Okay, so look how big that stem is. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take half of that and I'm going to stamp it on the edge of my Early Espresso, just like that. Can you see it? So I'm not even inking up the whole thing. It seems like it's a little bit big, and then with it being photopolymer, I can line it up perfectly where I want to stamp it. Can you see that? Isn't it cute? And then let's do it again. Just stamp half of it in the Early Espresso, and then line that up with the big pumpkin right there. Let me do the, I know it's an Early Espresso pumpkin, but I can still do Early Espresso stem there. And let me do the Lost Lagoon. Okay, so you get the idea. Isn't it cute to stack it up? And then I finished off the card. Where's the card? Right here. Then I just finished it off. I cut it out, and then I layered it onto the Cajun Craze cardstock. And then this ribbon I colored also with the Stampin' Blends. So let me show you how I did that. And the new ribbon is really nice. Let me see where that's at right here. I want to keep all my mask together for that stamp set. All right, so let me use the pumpkin pie. So I'm going to use my pumpkin pie Stampin' Blends, and this one is almost out. Maybe I shouldn't use it. Let me use my Cajun Craze. Cajun Craze Light. This one I think is the dark. So this is the new black and vanilla gingham ribbon that's in the mini catalog. So I'm just going to color that. And for the most part, the blends seep through to the other side, but if you want to still flip it over and just color it just a little bit to make sure it does go through. But then that's how you change the vanilla to the Cajun Craze, if you want to keep it all color coordinated. See, I feel like when I color one side, I got to go back and do the edges of that one there. So you can see the difference between the dark and the light here. Not much, but yeah, the dark is definitely darker. And then you would tie your bow, right? Well, I need to color more, but you get the idea. So that's what I did for the ribbon there. Colored that with the Cajun Craze Stampin' Blends. And that's it. Those are the two cards. I'm going to put these on my display board at for the retreat. All right, and then we got to make this at Dee's event this past weekend. Richard and I rode the motorcycle down to Indiana, And this was one of her make and take projects. It was so cute, but this one matches what we're using today, so I thought I would show you this one. Isn't it cute? These are the nested boxes that are in the mini catalog. Did you guys see those? Let me show you. They come unassembled, and you get 8 in a box or in a package. And they're like for making like an advent calendar, maybe, if you wanted to do that, or just a really cute packaging for a gift. Hold on. Where are they at? One moment. So cute. We made a Santa Claus one too, but that's over on my board already, so I didn't want to take that one down. But this was the one that we're using with the pumpkin. Here it is. Oh, nope, that's the pumpkin. Where's the boxes? Do you guys know? I know it's like a whole display item of it, right? There it is. It's on page 41, right here. These are the nested treat boxes, and you get 8 of them. You get the cover and the little box here. So this is an actual box, and they're really good sizes. But aren't they cute? So you get the 2 pieces to make the top and the bottom, and then they make a little cute little box. So cute. So I wanted to show you that using that stamp set. And then we're going to make my thank you notes. Let me show you those. So my 4 colors for this next month's thank you notes are pumpkin pie. Let me close up my ink pad before they get to be a mess. Don't want to lose my stamp. All right. So we have pumpkin pie, Cajun Craze, Lost Lagoon, and Pretty Peacock. Aren't they cute? There is a lot involved in these little thank you notes. So we have blending, we have punching, we have building, and we have coloring for the basic rhinestones. So this is the masking part. So let's go ahead and get started making my thank you notes. Now, mind you, you can transfer this into a full-size card too. It's very easily to do that. But we're going to make all the cards today to show you how I did that. So the pumpkin pie and the Cajun Craze are using one design of my mask. Hold on, I got to find my mask. And then this is the oxidized paper from the mini catalog. You're going to get the, well, I'm saying this is Lost Lagoon, but I really don't know what it is. Hold on, let me look. I think it is Lost Lagoon and Copper. But it's called the Copper Oxidized 12 by 12 paper. Yeah, it's right here. Oxidized Copper 12 by 12 specialty paper. So it is, oh, Pretty Peacock in Copper. I'm using it with Lost Lagoon too, but it is so pretty. Those papers pretty, and they're on back order right now, but they will be coming back, so hold on. I don't have very much of them. I need them myself. And then we're using these masks. These are the Artisan, I think it's the Artistic Mixed Mask. So I'm going to use this one for the Lost Lagoon, and then I'm using, well, maybe I won't be doing them here. Hold on, where's my other mask at? I just had them out earlier. Oh, maybe I won't be making them with you guys. Maybe I'll only be making this one with you guys. Where could it have gone to? Hold on. I'm telling you, I don't make a move and I lose stuff. Not kidding. All right. Yeah, I don't see the other mask. There should be one more mask for the background. Well, I'm not going to use the other one because that's not the one I'm using on my cards. So I'm just going to make the one or the 2 colors with you using the Lost Lagoon and the Pretty Peacock. Sorry, guys. I thought I clipped them all together, but apparently I didn't. So we're going to use this square design of the mask. And then I have my 2 pieces of basic white, and these are both cut at 2 1/4 by 3 3/4. And then my Lost Lagoon and Pretty Peacock are cut at 4 by 2 1/2. And then my basic white my basic white base of the cards are cut at 2 3/4 by 8 1/2, and then scored at 4 1/4. So all the measurements are the exact same thing. I just changed the color. Okay. So let's go ahead and stamp our pumpkins. I'm going to use the Lost Lagoon and the Pretty Peacock. I have some scrap over here. If I find my other mask, then I'll definitely make it with you guys, but I can't find it. All right, so my little pumpkin is going to be with the Lost Lagoon. So let me go ahead and stamp this. Oh yeah, I want to share this tip with you guys too. Let me get another piece of basic white. So in order for you guys to make if you want to use this punch with your stamps to line them up. Now I'm going to be using 2 different colored inks, so I won't be punching them out exactly the same, but you can punch out your stamps or your images from the punch. Of course, you would use a bigger piece of basic white, but you get the idea. So you're going to get your template here. Let me just cut this off. So this would be your template, and then I would write this as front on here. So write front. So this side should be facing up, and then you would take your stamps, and then you would line these up into your cutout, and you're putting the flat side facing up, so the image is facing down. So line that up with your template, and then line this one up with the template again with the flat side facing up and the stamped image facing down. Then you would take your block, and then you would line that up on your block, and then that is the way the stamp will punch. You can keep that in your template too in your box. So let's just stamp this with the Lost Lagoon. So then you would stamp this over here, and then your punch is going to line up perfectly with the die or with your stamp that you just stamped. Okay, just like that. And then you have your 2 pumpkins right there, the large and the small. Okay, and then your stem is on here as well, and then the leaves that we're going to use on the card. Okay, so that's how you make your template if you want to punch out all the pumpkins at one time. But like I said, I'm using 2 different inks for my 2 pumpkins. So I'm going to clean my 1 large stamp off. Okay, so we're going to stamp the pumpkin, the little pumpkin, with the Lost Lagoon. Again, I'm trying to keep it the same way I'm punching it on the cardstock. So I'm going to start over here. I'm just going to stamp the 1. So this is my Lost Lagoon. I'm going to punch that one out. Okay. And then I'm going to stamp my large pumpkin with the Pretty Peacock. So pretty. Stamp or punch out that one. Okay, so we got our 2 pumpkins punched out. Now I'm going to stamp the leaves. Oh, you know what? I need my Lost Lagoon ink out still. So then I got a piece of crumb cake, and this is about a quarter of an inch. No, half inch wide. And then I'm going to go ahead and punch out 2 of my stems with my crumb cake. Whoop. Actually, I'm going to punch out 4. Okay, so I got my 4 stems. And then I'm going to punch out my, this is the Pretty Peacock with the copper. This one is going to go with the Lost Lagoon and the Pretty Peacock. So I'm going to use both of the pumpkins with both of the cards. So I'm just going to go ahead and punch both of those out. And then I'm going to grab my adhesive. Everything is hiding under everything. Okay, so we're going to put our stems on the back of our pumpkins. Now all I'm doing is just putting some Stampin' Seal on the back side of our 4 pumpkins. And then our stems are going to go on with the adhesive. And I'm not putting the long part of the stem. The stem is almost too long, but it grabs it to the back side. Really nice. Okay, so there's the Pretty Peacock. And then here's this one with the small copper. And then the big one. Okay, then we're going to put dimensionals on the back side of these. I would normally be making like all this in an assembly line. So I wouldn't be like making one whole card like I am with you today on the live. I would be stamping all the pumpkins and I'd be punching them all out, you know. Okay, so the big pumpkin here is going to go with the little Lost Lagoon pumpkin here. And then the big pumpkin and the peacock is going to go with the small pumpkin over here. Okay, now let's go ahead and do our blending with our blending brush. I'm going to use this masking here. Now what I did on this too, because since I'm going to be making so many thank you notes, I wanted to write front on my mask. So when I use this mask all the time, this is the way I want my mask to sit on all the little basic white pieces, because I don't want to flip that over and get the ink to be transferred because I might be using a different color or something. I don't know. But I'm going to use this. This design is just for the peacock and the Lost Lagoon. So I have my blending brush that's just for my blue family. And I'm just going to ink up my brush and I'm just going to lightly add the ink. And I'm not covering it all. I'm on very, very lightly on my brush. I just want to add a little bit of texture. Can you see that? Just a little bit. I'm going to do this one, the same one. Both of the cards get the Lost Lagoon on the background with this mask. And then my pumpkin and Cajun Craze get the Cajun Craze on the background with that mask. Well, this is not the mask that I used for that one. So there's my 2 backgrounds for my thank you notes. All right, so then I'm going to use my, where's my thank you at? Hold on, I got to get my stamp. There it is. Okay, got my thank you here. All right, so now let's go ahead and put our pumpkins on. Oh, we got to stamp our leaves too. Sorry. I'm going to cut this strip down a little bit more because I don't need that much. I just don't want to make a mess all over my desk. Okay, we're going to stamp the leaves in Old Olive. I'm going to stamp this 2 times, I think. Yeah, 2 times with the Old Olive. And then we're going to punch these out with this punch over here. The little leaf is on the bottom. Right there. Okay. All right, now let's go ahead and put this on our little card here. We got our large pumpkin. I'm just going to put this right in the center of my little note here. I'm going to kind of cockeye it to the side, kick it off to the side. Now this was one thing that I was kind of wondering what I should do with the leaf. Should I put the leaf on the outside of my pumpkin or behind the pumpkin? I didn't know how to do that, or which way looked better. So this one is, well, let me just do this one this way, and then you guys can tell me which way you like it. With the leaf on the front of the pumpkin with a little bit of liquid glue. Or the other one I tuck behind it too, so it doesn't really matter. Let me use this one here. Tuck that. This one's going to go over here. The sleeve. Okay. And let's do this one over here. We're going to put the small copper pumpkin on with the large pretty peacock. Again, I'm going to kind of turn it. And then this one's going to go over here. Just like that. And then we're going to take the Thanks So Much, I believe is what it says. Use the early espresso for that. And that's going to get stamped right below the pumpkins. Just like that. And then I have some linen thread. I'm going to tie a couple bows. I'm telling you, this thank you note this for October has got a lot of stuff going on. Right? Get my paper snips here. Okay, there's one bow. Let me make one more. I just designed these last night. And then I thought, well, I guess I can go live with this. Because everything else is packed up. I did find another take your pick tool, so I have at least that today. It's a miracle. All right, so I got my two bows tied up. Little bows with the linen thread. All right, and then we're going to put this onto our Lost Lagoon and Pretty Peacock. This one's going to go on the Lost Lagoon. What is that on the bottom of my cardstock here? Lost Lagoon. It's going to go on here. I feel like that's something on there. I need to get that off of there at the bottom. There we go. Okay, and then this is going to go on to the base. The thank you note. Still got a couple other things to do with their card. This is the Pretty Peacock. And remember, you get a thank you note with every order that you place with me, plus you get your tokens. I want to explain the tokens because I feel like there's a few people that are confused on my tokens, because I know I got a lot of new customers that join us and they're probably thinking, what in the world is all that? So I'm going to put my bow on the copper, because the color pumpkin that we stamped has the leaf. So the copper pumpkins will get the linen bow. At least that's what my thought was on the whole adding the ribbon or the twine or the linen thread. So we're going to put the bow on the copper pumpkin. And I just put a little dab of liquid glue on that. Okay, so for every $50 you spend with me, this is accumulative. It's not, no, it's not. It is, what do we call it? It's for every $50. It's not accumulative. So if you spend $30 this week and you spend $30 the next week, it's not a combination of those two orders together that gets you a token. It's one order of $50, and it's for every $50 increment that you get a token. And then once you collect 10 tokens, you get to cash those in for a free stamp set, a free die, or a free bundle for me. And the tokens do get carried over for 2 years. So you have 2 years to cash in your tokens. And then I let you know what your token count is when you place an order. So for instance, when you place an order, you might get this stamped image on your receipt from me. And it says you have, and then I fill in the blank on how many FSM tokens you have. However many I have on my Excel spreadsheet is how many tokens I write here. So if you have a total of 8 tokens that you've accumulated over, say, the last year, then that's going to say 8. This is not a representation of how many tokens you have, like, for that order. So for instance, like if you get this on your receipt and you've placed a $46 order, but you have 2 tokens, currently you have 2 tokens, but you didn't get any tokens for that $46 order, then you're going to have a 2 there, because that's how many tokens you actually have. So this is not the token. These are your tokens, which are the punched out cardstock, and these all match this month's thank you notes. So for every $50, you'll get a token. And depending on what thank you note you get, you'll get the same color. I tried to do the same color of the token. So then you'll get those accumulated over a certain amount of time. And then when you place your next order, you'll get a little note on your receipt that I send you on how many tokens you have. So once you reach 10 tokens, all you have to do is just email me back and let me know what you want with an item number, the name or the description of the item that you want, a stamp set, die, or a bundle, and it has to be a $50 value or less. And then you email me, let me know what you want, and there's nothing else to send back. All you have to do is just email me, and then I need your address too. So then I do a customer direct order, and then I send it to you, or Stampin' Up! Sends it to you for me. So I pay for that for you. So that's it. That's easy, right? Super easy. Because I think people were thinking that the stamped, like you currently have so many tokens, was this. Like if you've placed orders, okay, so for instance, when I'm doing my card kits, I'll say, if you place a minimum order of $35, you'll get the card kit for free, right? But if you bump it up to $50, you'll get the card kit and you'll get a token. So once you start accumulating tokens, then I'm going to write the amount that you have here on your receipt where this says you have, in parentheses, how many ever tokens you have. This is not the token itself. So because you have so many stamped images, whether it's a Post-it note on the card kit and it says you have 2, this does not say you have 2 with this and you have 2 with this. So that means you have 4. No, that's not how that works. And I've been doing this for 17 years. This is my FSM club. Many of you have been doing it with me from the very beginning. So I just want to make sure that that's clarified. So these are not the tokens. These are the tokens. And you collect 1 for every $50. So when you place a $100 order, you get 2 tokens. When you spend $150, you get 3. And if you spend $180, you're still getting the 3 tokens until you bump it up to the $200, then you'll get 4 tokens. And then sometimes I offer double FSM tokens. So that's when you get double. For every $50 you spend, you'll get 2 tokens. You spend $100, then you get 4 tokens. Usually that's when we go on the Stampin' Up! Incentive trip, is when I usually do the double FSM tokens. So that's a good way to rank up your tokens to get them faster. All right, so let me know in the comments if you guys have any questions about my FSM program. Like I said, I've been doing it for so long. I forget that we get new people and they're kind of confused. So if you've always placed orders with me for just the card kits and they're $35, you've never reached the $50. So that is not a token, but you are getting the card kits for free. You know what I mean? Okay. Hopefully that clears that up. All right, let me get my rhinestones. We're going to color the rhinestones in with the blend. So I have the Pretty Peacock and I have the Lost Lagoon. So again, we're going to color in 3 rhinestones. Now, once again, I would color all these in at one time so they're ready. I'm just going to show you what I do. So I'm coloring in the Lost Lagoon. And then I'm going to color in 3 with the Pretty Peacock. Ooh, that's pretty. Pretty Peacock. Let me do the Lost Lagoon again. I feel like it's really light. Maybe I need another coat. Yeah, you can definitely tell they're colored. All right, so then we're going to take our 3 rhinestones for each of the thank you note, and we're going to put them on the background. So many of you like reuse my thank you notes too. That's so awesome. But you don't have to send me the tokens back. You don't have to, you don't have to do any of that because I keep track of every single order you guys place with me. Also, I do have a few new customers too, and I'm waiting on the new annual, not the new annual, but I'm waiting for my order of the annual catalogs to come in and the mini catalogs because I was out. So they're supposed to be here on Monday, which is this upcoming Monday. So here's my Lost Lagoon and Pretty Peacock thank you note. Aren't they pretty? Ooh, I love them. So much involved with my thank you notes. So then these ones are this one's the Cajun Craze. So you can see the background slightly different. The masking background is also in this artistic mix background. And I use the Cajun Craze ink for that, like I did with the Lost Lagoon for them. So then this one's the Cajun Craze, and then this one's the Pumpkin Pie. Made the exact same way. So pretty, but I like to give you guys different colors with your thank you notes because many of you place multiple orders in a month. So this way you're not getting the same thank you note because I try to get the thank you notes out in a timely manner. So you're not getting the same thank you note over and over again. All right, so here's your question. Do you like the leaf on the outside or behind the pumpkin? Let me show you the one with the Lost Lagoon here. Do you like it in front or behind? That is the question. Do you like the leaf in the front or the behind? Do you know what I'm saying? This right here. This is in the front and this one is tucked behind. I was thinking behind. Let me know which one you guys like better. And that's maybe the one I'll do. I don't know. Let me see what you guys are asking here. Oh, they love both. Really cute cards. Thank you. Really pretty. Thank you, Sherry. The background is really pretty. Thank you. Man, I can't type right. Welcome to my world. I say I got fat fingers, but I don't know. Sometimes I feel like it just has a mind of its own. You know that autocorrect or whatever, that spelling thing? It sometimes goes really haywire on me. Oh, you just got your take your pick tool? You're going to love it. I love mine. I got this on mine. I took the putty end off. It's over in my other room because I was using the blade. The blade one. This is really sharp, so make sure you're putting the end on that one. And then I always use the pokey tool. But these are interchangeable, so there's like a bunch of new tools for that. Let me show you where that is in the in the annual catalog too, because I feel like there's so much that gets hidden sometimes, you know. But where the take your pick tool is at, right here, you have the extra putty, so you don't have to buy a whole new take your pick tool. You can just get the refills of the putty, and you get 2 of them, and these are on page 145. So you get 2 refills of the putty for $4. And then this is the take your pick crafter tool kit, which gives you like 4 more additional things. You get a rotary, like a perforated cutter. You get the hobby blade, and then you get something else. Here, let me see, what else do you get? Hobby blade, oh, a pick tip, perforating tip, and they all come with caps. So the pick tip has 2 different picks, I think, on that. But everything is right there on the top of the catalog, right there on page 145. So you can get those interchangeable adapters for your take your pick tool, and they just screw out. Like this is the hobby blade, like that. And then here's my putty end, so just screw that in. Now you guys know too that when you squeeze this down, because it's really, really tight, but when you squeeze it down, clean off the end because mine gets really gunked up. So like twist it really, really tight, and then you can start seeing it coming out, and then untwist it so it doesn't keep coming out. So then I just like to pat it down a little bit so it's kind of flat and mushy. And then that's your putty end. Very nice. I love it. I really, really love our take your pick tool. All right, so those are my thank you notes. I was really hoping to make the pumpkin pie and the Cajun craze, but they're made exactly the same. I just don't know where my mask went. Seriously, I don't know where it went. I have them all clipped together with my clip right here. Yeah. And I don't know where it went, because I had these all clipped together with my... I don't know, it's probably over my desk. Okay, so I just keep all my masks like that together. So this is the Artistic Mix masking. Very, very cute. All right. Oh, thank you. You are as amazing today as you were years ago. I love your crafting style and teaching. You keep me smiling and laughing. Oh my gosh, thank you. Who said that? Jeanette? Oh, thank you. That was so nice to say. I feel like I'm a little scatterbrained, to tell you the truth, because I feel like I'm thinking of so many other things. I filmed 4 of my pillow gifts videos. I did 4 videos yesterday. I still got a couple more videos to do for you guys. But those will be available on my shop store. So I'm going to be selling the PDF with the videos. So those will be offered separately. And that will come after the retreat. I got too much to do right now. But I did film all the videos so you guys can see all the pillow gifts that I've been making for everybody that's coming to the retreat. Also, a quick reminder. I thought it was this Friday, but it's actually September 30th is Saturday. So if you guys are wanting to get my to-go packet, which are making the 10 cards that I have designed and ready to go in all these buckets right here for everybody at the retreat, and there's more over here. I have 10 cards that everybody is going to be making at my retreat, and if you want to be a part of that, we will be making those cards starting, I think it's October 18th. I don't know off the top of my head. I want to say it's October 18th is when we're going to start that series. So every Wednesday in the Glitter Pit, we're going to make 2 of the 10 cards together live. So you can make your cards right along with me each week for 5 weeks. Okay. So this Saturday is the last day to pre-order your to-go packet, because my husband and I will not be cutting out everything as an ongoing process. Once we're done cutting, that is all we're going to do. So if you want the kit to go, this is the time to get it. And then once I see that you've ordered it, you go on my list and I will send you all the list of all the supplies that we use. Now, mind you, you can make the cards however you want with whatever stamps you have. But if you want to make them the way we're making them at the retreat, I give you a list of all the supplies that you'll need, the stamps and most of the die cutting and the ribbon and some of the die cut shapes are in the kits. But there are some things that you're going to have to do, like for a technique, you might have to stamp before you emboss or something like that. So for the most part, everything is done for you. You just need the stamps and the ink and stuff and the blends to color. So I will send out the list of all the items that you're going to need for the cards. And then whether or not you have them or if you want to watch and make them later, that's totally up to you. But starting that Wednesday after the retreat, I want to say it's the 18th because I want to allow time for you guys to get the kits. So I'm going to start mailing out the kits on the week of the 9th of October 9th after the retreat. So hopefully everybody will get their kit before we actually do the projects on that following Wednesday. And if not, you guys have the replay too. But you guys will have the PDFs, the supply list, and the videos to make the cards. And then when you buy the kit, you get to make the cards with me. Yay! And the cards are a wide variety of cards for every level of stamper. We have easy, simple, easy to mass produce cards to fun folds to technique cards. So a wide variety and 10 cards that you'll be really happy to make with me. And I'll be so happy that you're making them with me too. So what we're going to do at the retreat, they're going to split the make and takes up 5 on Friday. And then, well, they're actually getting 11 make and takes because they're actually attending the event. So the sixth make and takes will be done on Saturday. So we're splitting them up so they're not so much. And then Thursday and then the rest of the weekend, we're doing our shoebox swap. So after the event, if everybody does all the swapping and the make and takes, and I also have 4 presentations that are taking place for the girls that are, or for everybody that's attending the retreat. They should be leaving, for everybody that signed up for everything, they will be leaving with 60 projects that they have made at the retreat alone. So, how exciting. I'm so excited. So much fun. And then we will be doing this again next year. So if you guys have been, I know it was kind of late notice. So if this is something that might interest you in coming next year, we will be doing it about the same time, the first weekend in October. I think it falls on October 4th, 5th, and 6th maybe next year. I don't quite know, but just double check that. First Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, I'm going to try to reserve that weekend, the weekend we're having the retreat this year. So we'll have it for next year. Okay? So be saving up to come and attend next year. We would love to have you. So much fun. Meet new friends, come stamp. And then there's some downtime too. So if you guys aren't from Michigan, if you guys are coming in from another state, you are more than welcome to go explore Michigan. We have Frankenmuth up north. It's about 45-minute drive to go up to Frankenmuth. And Bronner's is our big, huge, world's famous Christmas store. Then we have, of course, the Dollar Tree and, Target, all those kind of stores too. The Home Goods, all those are within driving distance of the retreat. So there's going to be some downtime for you to be crafting on your own projects that you want to bring and use and make. And then also there's raffles and door prizes, all that kind of stuff. So much fun. And it's right here in Michigan. And it's in fall time, so it's nice and cool. Even though they said that the hotel will be nice and air conditioned. And I'm like, that's good. Nothing worse than crafting and you're sweating, right? Yay, Sherry, we would love to have you come. Yes. Oh, and then lunch is provided for Friday and Saturday. Dinner is on their own, so they can go out to dinner. You can go to there's a Culver's that's close by, which is just walking out the door of the hotel. You can go to Culver's, and then McDonald's is across the street. But this year we're doing pizza, and me and Richard are doing a taco bar, our own taco bar on Friday. So wish me luck. It's going to be fun. All right. Do you guys have any other questions? Oh, I know, Vicky. That's too bad. But you know what? I have people coming in from California, Florida, Massachusetts, Wisconsin, Indiana. Oh my gosh, they're coming in from everywhere. Kansas, Virginia, Chicago. I'm not kidding. I think I have 24 coming, which is perfect because one of the gifts that I bought for them that I made, I'm going to show you all this after the retreat because I want them to be surprised. But one of these gifts that I made for them is like their name plaque for their place setting. I bought one case of them and there was 24 and they have sold out since I did it. And I'm like, oh, thank goodness. You know what, really, thank goodness I didn't get any more people because I would have been up a creek if I couldn't make everybody this nameplate thing. So, yeah, it works out. There's a reason why everything works out for the reason it does, right? Yeah, we'll be sharing pictures. You guys are going to be like a part of it. Ah, thank you, Laura. Thank you. I definitely want to come next year. I'm going to gather some friends. Yay, Margaret. Yeah, and this is the best part is the hotel we're having it at, they give us a block discount room. So the deadline was the 14th of September, but I think everybody's got the rooms. And then I still have some local girls that are coming in every day, so they don't need to stay at the hotel. But the discounted room was like 40 bucks off a night. And then you can share your room with other people. I think you could sleep up to 3 or 4 people per room. So, you know, depending if you want to share your bed with somebody, you can make your room really inexpensive if you bring a friend or, you know, bring a friend and you share your room, and that's half the price. But even the regular price was, you know, definitely cheaper than regular price of the retreat. And they're really cute. Plus they have a sleeper couch, so you can actually sleep. I think they said up to 5 people in your room if you get 2 queen size beds. So they're counting 2 people per bed and then the sleeper bed. So then you take 5 people and you divide that by the hotel room with the discounted price. You're like paying like just a few dollars, you know? All right. Okay, everybody. So remember, I won't be here next week. We're going to be going to the hotel and setting everything up. And then, yeah, but I will be back the following Wednesday. And then we will get back to our normal broadcasting, right, on Wednesdays. I mean, I feel like we've been doing pretty good. I mean, even though I kept saying, I don't know if I'm going to be here next week, it's only because everything's packed and I'm kind of like, I swear, I thought I lost the stem and the leaf to my stamp today. Gosh. And I'm like, I'm just scatterbrained is what it is. I got too many things going at one time and it's like, Oh, yes, we're having a slumber party on Saturday night. We're going to have Stampin' Up bingo. We're hoping the fire pit is working outside of the hotel because we have s'mores. We have everything ready for s'mores. But either way, it's going to be a great time. So we're going to have the bingo is the pajama party on Saturday night. And they don't have to wear their pajamas, but I know I'm going to be, so. All right, so do we want to do another glitter giveaway? Let me do this here. Let me grab what I got over here. Let me see. What do I got? What do I got? All right, let's give these away. Let me get my iPad. All right, I have these here. Let's give these away. These are the iridescent pastel gems. They are sparkly. All right, and let me get my spinner. All right, are we ready? Let's do it. Let's spin it up. Mix it up. Who's that? Margaret! Margaret, I got your address. I'll get those sent out to you. I don't know what Richard and I are doing tonight. Richard made a whole bunch of meat in his sous vide. So we had that last night. He had... What kind of steak is it? I want to say it's strip steak. Does that sound like something? Strip steak. I don't know. He said it's usually tough. I'm just writing your name down here that you got the goodies here, Margaret. Yay, Margaret! Woo-woo! All right, so Margaret, you got, let me see, these are the pastel gems. Okay. So we had that last night, and then, yeah, we could really have that tonight too. But if we end up going out, I will get these dropped off to you, Margaret, and then these are going to Sherry. I want to say I have your address, don't I, Sherry? Do I? Okay. Another thing too, I feel like I'm really lacking in is sleep. And I know the retreat, when it happens, I'm going to be lacking in even more sleep because the doors of the retreat are going to be open from 8 in the morning till midnight. And then Thursday, the doors are opening at 5 to midnight. And then Friday and Saturday, they're opening up at 8 to midnight. And of course, you don't have to be there the whole time. Richard and I will be there the whole time. But, you guys can come and go and do whatever you want. You can come in and stamp, hang out, go shopping, whatever you want to do. So it's just a really nice weekend to get away, right? Thank you. Who said that? Thank you, Kathy. All right, everybody. I'm going to let you guys go. I'll see you guys not next Wednesday, but the next Wednesday. What date is that? That will be the... I want to say that's the 11th, maybe. We'll be back that Wednesday, all right? Have a great week. I will miss you guys next week, and I'll see you the following Wednesday, all right? Same glitter time, same glitter station. I love you guys. See you next time. Bye.